Hello everybody and welcome to another Uniko video with me, Bev, the owner and designer of all things Uniko. Welcome to day 2 of the August 2025 product release introductions, and today I have a new background block to introduce you to. This one is called Background Blocks Bauhaus. And if you know me, I love these background blocks, and I have quite a lot in the collection now. They're great for adding an instant focal point of pattern, just accenting with an image or a sentiment. Really good sort of for quick, clean and simple cards. And I'm super excited to be adding this one that will fit in with obviously the Bauhaus blocks, which we released quite a while ago now. And it sort of, even though Bauhaus was its own design movement, it does fit in nicely with mid-century modern. A lot of the shapes and imagery is often very similar, so it'll pair really lovely with our mid-century modern collection. And even if you've hopped along with myself and the brand ambassadors today, you'll see that some of them have paired it with the Art Deco sentiments, for example, and just come up with some really super ideas. For my first card that I shared on the blog today, I kept things really clean and simple. I literally just stamped the block, added a sentiment, and then coloured it in these ombre blue hues. Super simple, but perfect for a masculine card, so minimal fuss. Then I went colourful. I used my Misty and I just partially stamped top and bottom and added the sentiment in the middle. I did adhere it using foam tape just for a little bit of dimension and added interest. And then obviously I wanted to show you how it does pair with the previously released Bauhaus blocks. So this one is the Bauhaus blocks, and I used this bottom square here, but there's all these fun ones, and obviously of course the sentiments, which I also used here as well. And I just used some Stampin' Up markers to colour in the block, but then I kept the background just monochrome, and I think they work lovely together. So I have another idea to show you, just using the background block today. So I went ahead and cut a piece of cardstock. This is 9.5 by 13 centimeters, and I'm actually going to use one of the mid-century modern everyday sentiments, this Celebrate one. I was just looking for my temporary adhesive. So I am going to just use my pencil and ruler just to mark off some where I want my sentiment to sit in. So this will just help me as well with when it comes to stamping my block as well. So I'm just standing up here so I can visually see. So this is helping me to determine how big I need my sentiment space. So just double checking that I've got 2.5 centimeters. I need to turn it slightly, and then I'm gonna go down there. So that's where my sentiment is going to fit. It looks a little bit wonky, but we'll see. I just want some rough guides as to the sort of spacing. I might change that top. My hand's super itchy. I'm going to just rub this one out. I'm not completely happy with that one. That would be better if I go from corner to there, so that looks better-ish. I'm sure it'll look fab once we get this block stamp. So I actually, I'm going to use it on this acrylic block rather than my stamping platform. I'm just straightening it up a little bit. Just because this is an outline, it is fairly easy to stamp. So where my camera's placed, it's a little bit further away than I normally sit and stamp, so that's why I'm stood up today. So if I sound a little bit louder, it's because my mouth is quite near the microphone. So I'm just stamping this on the angle, like so, and then I am going to stamp it there again. So as you can see, this design, it's just literally lots of semicircles creating this fun pattern. So not only will it work well with the Bauhaus blocks that I just showed you, it will work wonderfully with yesterday's product introduction, which was Background Builders Mid-Century Modern, and there were lots of semicircles and patterns that will work well with this as well. I'm sure ideas are probably already circulating in your mind as to how you would use this. So it's not quite what I envisioned, but sometimes we see something in our head and we just go for it. We'll see how it turns out. So I am going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. Now normally I would use my MISTI for this, but I have just re-inked my black ink here that really it should stamp quite nicely just using an acrylic block. So we'll see. I might actually change the orientation of the sentiment. I think I'm a little bit wonky there, but never mind. And there we go. So I went ahead and chose 3 colours of Copic marker. I've got a blue, a red and a yellow. So I've got Antwerp, blue, prawn and honey. Very sort of hopefully mid-century colours. And I thought what I'd do is just colour in, randomly select and colour in some of the shapes, just leaving some of them white, and then adding colour to the others. Super easy just to colour these. I do like alcohol markers for their smoothness when it comes to colouring. I find them really easy to use for flat colouring, which is what I do a lot. I do like colouring, but I have to be in the mood for shading and such like. I like quick, clean and simple cards, minimal fuss. Obviously patterns like this can look a little bit more busy than my usual style, but sometimes then it comes down to how you colour it, what you add, if you add anything, and maybe just let the pattern take the focal point. So originally I was going to stamp that on the diagonal, and then I should have moved this lower block over slightly to have a little bit of a gap. But hey ho, as I say, sometimes when it comes to creating, you can have a starting point and an idea, and it might not turn out exactly how you first envisioned it, but I think that's the joy of creating. So this one seems to be a little bit drier than my other markers. I haven't used my Copics much recently, so it's nice to dust them off a little bit. So I'm just choosing random shapes to add the colour to. I mean, you could, if you weren't into colouring, you could ink blend your background first and then add the colour that way. But with just randomly selecting a few of the semicircles, it shouldn't take too long. But I'm excited to see more and use more of this stamp over the coming days and weeks. I think it's a simple design but has impact, and as I said earlier, it's perfect for masculine cards. Geometrics is something that I reach for a lot when it comes to making cards for men. My husband and like my father-in-law, even my kids, they love things like fishing and computing and football, and there is more sort of creative stamps out there now for hobbies, but I often found that, you know, it was just one image and there wasn't much you could do with it other than change maybe the technique that you use. But with an image like this and geometrics, you can switch, you can chop it up, you can mask things off and come up with different shapes. You can quite easily fill a larger space if you wanted to. Quite easily. That's my kiddos off out fishing with Grandad for an hour. About time they got some fresh air today. They've been gaming pretty much all day. The joys of summer holidays. So I'm going to finish up with the yellow now. And I'm going to go in with the blue. Just pick a place and start. So this stamp, along with all the products I'm introducing this week, will be available on Sunday at 9 AM BST. The quickest way to be informed when the release is available is by signing up for the Uniko newsletter. The sign up is at the bottom of the website homepage. I don't spam newsletters or emails. I send them a maximum maybe of 3 times a month if it's a busy month, so it's usually when there are restocks, special offers, and obviously new releases. So that is the quickest way to find out. Obviously, it's sometimes hard if you're in a different time zone, remembering what time conversion you need to be. So that's the quickest way. So normally I don't have 2 releases so close together. It's not something I normally do. But honestly, I just couldn't wait to share these new products. And I wanted them to have their sort of own limelight, just like the Christmas products had in July. So hence why a new release so soon. But they will breathe new life into your collection if you already own any of the Bauhaus mid-century modern products. Obviously, you might have been following in July, and I released the Christmas version of the stencil layering Bauhaus blocks, and it sold out like wildfire. My stencil manufacturer is currently on holiday, that's why I haven't restocked it yet. She's away till the 11th of August, so as soon as she is back on the 12th, I will put in my order along with some restocks of other things that have been requested as well. She's a fairly new manufacturer, so I'm slowly adding and building up the inventory again with her. So keep an eye out. I will put another newsletter out when the stencils are back in stock, because I know quite a few people are waiting for them, as well as the ink and flip Christmas tree pattern that sold out super quick as well, so that will be back. And I am expecting a small selection of stamps that week as well, so I will put a newsletter out to say when all they have arrived. I'll put it in one newsletter. So I'm just rubbing out the pencil lines, and I just used the clear Copic marker just to take off a little bit where I'd gone over the edge slightly. So I'm just going to get a piece of, I wasn't super prepared today like I normally am. I have some black cardstock, but I think it's slightly too long, just slightly. So we'll just trim it down to my standard 14 by 10.5. I work in centimetres when it comes to card making, and I know a lot of you in the US work in inches. It just doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me. It's funny because I do use inches for certain things, but when it comes to card making, I use centimetres. So I'm just going to pop some foam adhesive on the back, just to give it a little bit of dimension, otherwise it would be quite a flat card, which I don't mind flat cards. Obviously they're good for posting, but sometimes just want that little bit extra. So a little bit of foam adhesive. So this is 1mm thick. So here in the UK we have thicknesses that things can go through as, so this will go through as a standard letter. I think the thickness is 5mm for a standard letter, and then anything more than that, then you have to pay for a large letter, and obviously the price goes up. And obviously postage is expensive enough at the minute, so I always use this 1mm thick foam adhesive, as it doesn't add a lot of bulk. And I use these little squares just out of habit really, but I haven't actually found anywhere that does the 1mm thick. Maybe I'm not looking in the right places. I have to say I don't look online, but because I know I can get these from Hobbycraft here in the UK, I just go there for these. And they're good for smaller spaces, and I've never been one for putting foam adhesive all the way down. I don't find it as necessary. I know a lot of my cards I make are more for samples when I'm at shows or workshops and things, so I do send a few, but not as many as I should. Almost there. I don't want to come off today, they're super sticky. So all I'm going to do is just line this up. My bottom piece just doesn't want to stay in place today. And there we have another simple idea using the Background Blocks Bauhaus. And I'll bring in the other cards that I shared on the website blog today. So thank you for joining me again today for this product introduction. I hope you like the look of this new black background block. I'll be back again tomorrow with more to share. See you then. Bye for now.